Now, let's talk about a game called Ninja or Die: Shadows of the Sun. Conceptually, this game is really unique and could have been loads of fun. However, this game was designed by a sadist. I actually had to quit my Let's Play on the very last stage. I'll get to more of that towards the end of the video. So what is Ninja or Die? So Ninja or Die is a roguelite where you play as a ninja in a fast-paced side-scrolling precision parkour platformer. Sounds fun, right? I thought so too before I realized I had become a masochist to enjoy this game. Let's talk about the game mechanics first. So the basic game loop is around the usage of one button. You pretty much aim with the left stick and you push A to jump. Jumping to an enemy also attacks them, and holding A does a super jump or a super attack. So essentially there's no walking in this game, only jumping. Occasionally you'll hit the B button to kind of equip projectiles, equip gear, or use healing items. Now the roguelite elements come into play by earning cash and rescuing villagers in each stage, which will start developing your desolate town. Here, if you have rescued the right villagers, you can upgrade your stats, select new playable characters, purchase items, etc, etc. So I really haven't played a wide variety of games before creating this channel. I kind of stuck to my own niches that I like, but I've never really seen anything like this game when I first started playing. Before I start my rant, let's give credit where credit is due. Let's talk about the good. The game is absolutely gorgeous with its 2D pixelated art style. It's both colorful and vibrant. Ninja or Die is also inspired by Japanese folklore, which creates a lot of unique environments and enemies. There essentially are a ton of unique enemy variety of both henchmen and bosses. So when you complete a stage, you'll essentially be able to afford at least one or two upgrades, so you can always feel constant progression. I also found the controls to be well designed and the gameplay is very tight. Now, to the combat. It feels really fun when it wants to. When in tight corridors, your character will ricochet off walls and zip through enemies with fast and deadly precision. You truly feel like a badass ninja in these moments. The tutorial is pretty effective and simple. It gives you all the tools and knowledge that you need to get through the game. Now let's talk about the mediocre. The game moves so fast you can't appreciate the art nor the design of the game. You actually move so fast that you scroll through the screen at an unprecedented pace. You'll suddenly kill enemies that you didn't know were there. However, if the enemy is prepared, you will spend the entire game constantly running to enemy attacks and stage traps such as spikes. This game is so fast paced you'll never see them coming. Let's transition to combat. As I mentioned before, in tight spaces, combat is fun. However, half the stage takes place in huge open environments with hardly any walls to bounce off of. This really kills the pacing of the game. Your only choice is to waste precious projectile resources or follow the gameplay loop of aiming, jumping, attacking, waiting, and landing. Sometimes I feel like a trained cricket more than a ninja in these moments. This applies to bosses also. Bosses that take place in huge open rooms take forever to beat and feel quite boring. Another mediocre note are the item drops. During a single run, you will see tons of item drops. Starting off, you will have an inventory size of 20. However, you will fill this fast. So you'll spend a lot of time juggling and playing inventory management. This actually feels quite fair though. The randomized nature of the item drops does not. This game relies heavily on picking up healing items. I'll go more into detail why later. However, I died on stages before due to the fact that all I could find was useless filler items, and pretty much I watched my health get chipped down to 0. On the flip side, I breezed past stages because I had so many healing items. Now to the moment you've been waiting for. The bad. The level design in this game is absolutely atrocious. The layout for each stage is convoluted and full of unfair trap placements. If I had to compare this game to a movie, it would be more akin to the movie Saw than Ninja Assassin. Seriously, at least a third of the levels in this game are mazes, with certain stage gimmicks that make the maze even harder to navigate. On top of that, there are traps everywhere. I mean everywhere. There are unprecedented amounts of spikes on the floor walls in this game that are so perfectly placed that you'll be guaranteed to hit them when flying across the screen. That's a major issue when most of this game is about flying into the unknown. Imagine being an interior decorator and seeing empty space in the living room. You think about putting a carpet on the living room floor, but you're like, nah, let's do thumbtacks instead. That is the level design philosophy of this game. Let's move on to stage gimmicks now. Each stage has a unique element that changes how the level plays. I'll bet some of these are a blast to play through. In my opinion, the water levels were actually fun. However, they could be in reality just substandard because I've been comparing them to other stages that are atrocious. One stage has a wind mechanic that pushes you while you're jumping. If you've been paying attention to my rant, you know exactly where the wind pushes you into. That's right, into well-placed spikes. Another stage, half the levels are covered by forward place covering, so you'll spend most of your time trying to navigate through non-obvious pathways to reach the end. Gimmicks aside, I've been lost on stages for 20 minutes trying to find an exit while watching my health chip away from running into constant spikes. You might ask yourself, you made it to the final stage, what made you quit? The answer is simple: slow-paced precision platforming. For the example here, when you hit a ceiling, it changes the jump trajectory without changing your guidelines. The section that made me rage quit as a whole dedicated this whole area to this one gimmick. If you fail and fall, guess where you land in? That's right, more spikes. Rain aside, I did find moments in this game that were actually fun, and mechanically the game has tons of potential. This game was, however, not for me. If you find yourself enjoying this game more than me, good for you. You also might find pleasure in summoning Pinhead from Hellraiser.